Thanks very much, Martin, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's George Singer. I design and make bespoke contemporary chandeliers and lighting installations. I'm going to talk you through a variety of my projects that I've carried out over the years. This first installation is called Zephyr. It's a 60-meter long lighting installation for a five-star hotel in St Andrews on the east coast of Scotland. It's made of 20,000 stainless steel discs, which are very, very thin. And me and 8 other designers spent 3 months to build the whole installation and 3 weeks to install it. The brief from the interior designers was to create an installation which reflected the surrounding countryside of St Andrews Bay. It's right on the coast, so the installation is designed to reflect murmurations of starlings, shoals of fish, clouds, blossom trees, long grass in the wind, the crashing waves on the big rocks, all of those things, and the kind of energy and dynamism of St Andrews Bay and the east coast of Scotland. The form was designed by a company in Berlin called Onformative, who I collaborated with, and they are artists in their own right, and they do smart computer code writing, fluid dynamics, and smoke simulation. So the overall form was designed using this smart computer technology where the whole thing was full of twists and turns and undulations which are impossible to design by eye. We wanted to create something which had a lot of a sense of surprise and something which was truly organic. It was very important to the hotel that the whole installation could be illuminated with any color. There are car shows in there and fashion shows and music concerts. So there's LED spotlights which are mounted all the way along through the atrium on the longitudinal beams which span the whole length, and on the columns either side to wash the installation with any color we like, bright pink for an Indian wedding or whatever color we needed it to be. In the daytime, the installation was illuminated with a full-length skylight which spanned the whole length of the atrium. Some of the discs are green. There's patches of green to give a sense of texture. Generally, they're white, but on the top there, you can see some kind of caramel-colored ones, as if the installation has been singed somehow or burnt, a bit like the back of a salmon, how it's a bit darker on the top. We wanted to add an extra layer of kind of an organic feel to the installation. All of the little lead weights on the bottom here pull all the discs dead straight and prevent anything from overlapping. And one of the big advantages of the installation is that all of the 20,000 stainless steel discs are only 0.2 mil thick, so the whole installation only weighs about 800 kilos in total, being 60 meters long. But the big advantage was the fact that the discs are extremely thin, so the whole installation never collects dust, which means it doesn't need any maintenance, which is a huge plus for the client, saves them a lot of money. The chandelier is called Xenia chandelier. It's an 11-meter long crystal chandelier for a house in Glasgow. It was a beautiful period townhouse. The crystals are from Egypt. They're it's a kind of Egyptian crystal. It's kind of a smoky grey-brown color to kind of complement the dark balustrade, the dark wallpaper and carpet in the space. The aesthetic of the installation, the client wanted it to be as big as possible. He's quite a bold guy, and wanted the chandelier to be as big as possible to squeeze through this narrow gap. But the kind of contemporary Art Deco aesthetic of the chandelier really complemented the period nature of the townhouse. All of the bronze rings which you can see here to illuminate the crystals are all handmade in a factory in Somerset. All materials that I make all my chandeliers from are always UK sourced where I can, apart from the crystals which are from Egypt. But everything else is always from either a London factory or a factory somewhere in the UK. I'm very proud to be an advocate for UK manufacture. I think it's very important. This installation, I made 2 of them. They're called the Void Chandelier. It's for a house on Lake Geneva in Switzerland. And I wanted to create something which mimics the lake outside. You can see Mont Blanc in the background. There's snow and ice outside melting. And the chandelier was designed to reflect all of those things. All the glass tubes are the same length, but the little stainless steel wires which suspend the glass tubes are all cut very accurately with a knife on a table to create this perfect parabolic dip on the underside of void. So when you sit underneath the chandelier in the coffee tables or the sofas, you look up and you're kind of melting into the installation. It's kind of thawing before your eyes to give a real strong sense of relaxation. All the glass is illuminated with fiber optic lighting, which you can see on the top, so you get a skin of light on the top and on the bottom. It looks really stunning at nighttime. This is the Deco chandelier. I've made quite a few of these over the years. It's a contemporary Art Deco aesthetic. All of the glass tubes here are all handmade in a factory in East London. And the light source in the center is daylight white LED. I always use the best quality LEDs I can find because they last forever and you get the best color quality. In the ceiling tray, you'll see that, and also where the discs are, there's no metal fixings. I'm very keen on making sure all the detailing is as subtle as possible. You can see the LED light source in the middle and the glass tubes from underneath. The acrylic discs from which the glass tubes are suspended can be any color. I've done them in transparent. In this case, they're orangey, kind of brown color. I've done them in dark colors to complement dark dining tables and all sorts of different colors to suit the space. This is called the Hurricane Chandelier. It's for the South Place Hotel in Moorgate, designed by Conran and Partners. And I was asked to design a chandelier which gave a sense of play and spoke of boyhood memories and a sense of Englishness. The aeroplanes used are the Hawker Hurricanes, which are an English plane famous in the Second World War. And I used over 100 of them and suspended them from this polished stainless steel ceiling tray. All of the airplanes are handmade, lost wax cast in Birmingham and polished. And the tips of the wings and the back were drilled to suspend them. And the paths of the planes are kind of fun. They fly underneath the light bulbs and in circular paths, just narrowly missing the electric cables by millimeters. The stainless steel ceiling tray is stitched together, much like the panels on a Spitfire would be. And the ceiling tray itself is split into 3 parts to represent the 3-bladed propeller. So again, the detailing was well thought through, and it really does make the client smile when they walk into the hotel. That was the point. This is called the Big Sexy Diamond. It was for the Saatchi Gallery in King's Road, and I was asked the Saatchi Gallery is on King's Road, and I was asked to do something which reflected King's Road somehow. I did some research and realized that King's Road was hugely influential in the 60s for fashion and pop culture, and has since become very, very gentrified. So the Big Sexy Diamond is a punk statement of how King's Road was huge, how it was so influential back then, and now has become gentrified. The diamond is a statement of that. All of the ribs which are made are gold anodized aluminium, so the whole thing is extremely light. I used, again, the best quality LEDs I could find, which are self-adhered tape fixed into the ribs. And all of the 82 little joints that make up the diamond are all rapid prototyped. And the diameter of the diamond is exactly the same as my height, so I knew I could fit it through the door if I needed to. And at night time, all you read is like a skeleton of the diamond, which was the point. They had the lights off in the evening at the Saatchi Gallery, and it looked pretty punchy from a distance. This is called the Green Globe. It was a competition I won to design an art installation for Southwark's Recycling Centre. The whole installation is just made from 4 materials: the recycled green glass beads, which you see, the thin stainless steel wires that the beads are threaded on, the aluminium hoops, and the stainless steel cables that link it together. So it's very lean and very efficient and green in its construction. There are 25,000 school children in Southwark, and each bead represents 1 school child. So the whole installation is saying that, you know, the next generation responsible for recycling, and the green globe representing a greener earth. This is the Black Oyster Chandelier. It's for the GHD hair clinic in Soho, and their brief was really make something from black dots. That's their branding. And I created a chandelier made of hundreds of black discs in stainless steel. Some of them were acrylic. They had gloss finishes and matte finishes. Some of them were transparent and some translucent to give a sense of texture. And it was designed to really kind of be camouflaged against the ceiling and provide a very kind of sexy black center focal point for the space. In the center here, you can see what's called the Cascade chandelier. I've made a number of these over the years, the first ones of which were for the famous Bluebird restaurant in Chelsea, designed by Conrad and Partners, where I made them in stainless steel. I've made red ones for Vitra. And this one for this beautiful chalet in the French Alps is made of copper. Originally, it was polished copper, but the client said it was a bit too bling for the space, so I dulled the discs down with antiquing fluid. I actually lied to the interior designers. When they said they wanted the polished copper a bit duller, I just said I'd strap it to the back of my Land Rover and drive it around Exmoor for a month, and they believed me, and that got published in the Financial Times. But I told them it was a lie, but they wanted to publish it anyway. But all of the discs here, they always move beautifully, delicately in the natural air currents of the room to provide a kind of a gentle kinetic feel to the installation. Finally, this is the Starlings installation for Selfridges head office, which they share the building with a number of other companies. And I liked the idea of representing these big companies with the notion of a commemoration of starlings, because it's growing, it's ever changing. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. And I liked the starlings kind of metaphor. And when you go past on a bike or a bus and you look at the installation, the apparent density from right to left switches because of the distribution and the alignment of the discs, is so that on the right-hand side it looks heavy, on the left it looks more transparent. So you get this kind of visual trick. All the discs in this instance were blue to complement the color scheme in the space. The Zephyr installation, this is the first project which I showed you, won 2 awards last year, the very prestigious darc Award, which I'm delighted to have won the Best Lighting Installation, and the illustrious International Hotel and Design Awards 2017. I always try and design with a great deal of honesty. I don't like to patronize the material. I always treat sheet steel like it wants to be. I might put a crease in it or a gentle curve. I don't fill it full of weird twists and turns like an artisan might. I try and keep it simple and honest, where the form and the materials are always in perfect balance to create a true sense of contemporary beauty. My name's George Singer, and thank you very much for listening.